This is possibly going to be the weirdest recent reads that I'm ever going to do. I've just lost my contact, so I don't see anything. I really hope that I'm going to be able to make it through, because I'm essentially blind without contacts or without glasses. But the thing is, I spent the night over at my mom's place where I don't have any stuff here. So yeah, my glasses are at home, and yeah, I'm going to try to bite through this. But I have a rare moment where everyone is sleeping, everyone is still up, and just I have the moment of peace and quiet in my house where I can try and record this as best as I can, because I have a couple of books that I want to discuss with you. I think there's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books that I finished, but some of them are novellas, so it's fair that I finished that many books within the first half of December. And I did not have that many 5-star reads, if I have to be honest. Only the one and only that I knew was going to be a 5-star read was actually a 5-star read, but I did have a fun time reading most of these. And I'm going to just shortly discuss them with you and let you know which ones I think are definitely worth picking up. The first book that I picked up this month is by C.M. Nascosta. It's the second book within a series that I started up this year. The first one was Morning Glory Milking Farm, which is a bit of a weird type of monster romance. Is it a monster romance? Yeah, monster romance or paranormal. I don't know how you would call it. And then the second one is called Sweet Berries. This is the one that I picked up this month, and very much like the first one, I really did enjoy it. It was very heavy on the spice, and the plot centers on a human woman who lives in this mixed town. So mixed town is like mixed humans living with all kinds of other creatures. And the love interest in this book is a Mothman, which is very interesting because I've never thought about the anatomy of a Mothman until I picked up this book. And it was very strangely weird, but very strangely endearing also, because very much like the first book, in this book the hero is very much a cinnamon roll hero, a bit awkward, a bit nerdy, a bit shy, and that really made the book worth it for me. Yeah, I definitely would say if you're interested in a bit of a weird type of romance, that this one is a nice one to pick up, especially if you like a more spicy type of book, because it really starts off with the woman saying, I need to get laid, and basically her looking for someone to relieve her of this need that she has. So yeah, it was a nice read. I gave it 4 stars because there definitely is a fun factor and a very nice cinnamon roll hero that I did appreciate. The next book I picked up is Holidate by Monica Murphy, and I picked this book up because I really wanted to finish a couple of holiday themed books to kind of get me in the mood for Christmas this month. So I picked this one up because I had it on audio, and it kind of sounded cute, because the female character within the book is someone who needs to help out a guy to kind of mingle in social circles in like a high society, if you will, because he has a Christmas tree farm that he needs to promote for the holiday period. And he's a typical kind of a grumpy hero, kind of like a Grinch who doesn't like Christmas, but he owns a Christmas tree farm, which is very ironic. But yeah, it was a cute read, but it was just okay. I wouldn't say that I would remember it very well and that I would recommend it if you want a wow read. If you just want to have a cute, almost Hallmark type of book, this one is definitely one that you can pick up. Moving along with another Christmas themed book, this one is a novella, a very short book by Cassie Mint. It's called Santa Baby, and this one is an age gap workplace romance where there is this bar owner who is older, and then one of his bartenders who is just like 20 or 21, and they have a mutual pining situation. Both of them are in love with each other without them knowing that of one another, and it was very cute. And the thing is, typically Cassie Mint stories, as far as I know, because I've only read 2 by now, but what I've heard from other booktubers is that Cassie Mint has very spicy books. This one was not heavy on the spice, and I did appreciate that. We have a Santa King almost in this book, which is very nice. And the age gap was very well done, because the guy was kind of like, yeah, I want her to have like more experiences, like what she would deserve, because she is like in her 20s and she deserves someone her age. And he was like kind of struggling with his feelings for her, but yeah, I did appreciate that. And it wrapped up very quickly and very satisfactory, so I definitely did like this one. I gave it 4 stars. So if you want a shorter read to kind of pull through with the Goodreads challenge, if you have one, you can definitely pick up this one, because it's holiday themed and it's very short and very nice. Do not ask me why I decided to pick up this book in December when I'm still trying to get through to my Goodreads challenge for this year, because it's a very chunky book and I did not plan on picking this up, but I don't know, the mood struck and I was like, okay, I'm picking this up because I saw that it was nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards for the fantasy section. So I picked up Babel by R.F. Kuang, and this was quite the undertaking because it took me, I think, like 4 or 5 days to read on audio, which is quite long for me. Even like Blood Marked by Tracy Dion, which is quite long as well, took me less, like I think like 3 days. But this one I almost struggled with it because it wasn't an easy read. Maybe because I read it on audio, maybe physically I would have done it better. But anyway, I'm going to try to do this book justice when I explain what it's about. The book is about, it's set in 1800s Britain, where we have a Chinese boy who was taken in very young from Canton to London by a professor who works in Oxford at this institution called Babel. And he is taken in with the very clear intention that he's supposed to be learning languages so that he can get into Oxford, into Babel as well, because the whole institution is one of the most important institutions in this society, because what drives the society is this enchanted silver that is fueled by language, by translations, and by the people who are in that institution who are practicing those languages. So this boy, he is taught in like Latin and Greek and different languages that he needs to perfect so that he can get into this institution. And once he gets in there, he kind of gets into a resistance group who are they kind of enlighten him that the whole system is corrupt, that the colonialism that the British institution is performing throughout the world is something that needs to be stopped, and that it needs to come from Babel. So yeah, it's quite the undertaking, this book. So I do appreciate the author's effort and her research and the amount of work and time that she's put into this book. But I do have to say that at times it really felt like I was being lectured, which I don't know that I found to be very enjoyable or fun. But yeah, it was definitely a very interesting read. I gave it 4 stars because, like I mentioned, I really did appreciate all the work that the author has put into the book, and the way that it's put you to think about the different issues that this book presents, including colonialism, including political discourse, and how corruption is very much in that system already from that point on in time, and until nowadays as well. So I definitely did appreciate this book. I wouldn't say that it's a favorite fantasy book of mine, because I do have to say that typically with fantasy I'm looking for escapism, while this book made me think more than escape. But I see the appeal, I see why so many people love it, and yeah, it's a very interesting read, definitely. So because I kind of had my mindset on finishing all Ali Hazelwood novellas this year, I picked up 2 of them at the start of this month, and I'm definitely going to pick up the last one sometime soon, before the year is over. The first one is Under One Roof, and the second one is Stuck With You. The first one I gave 4 stars. This one is a forced proximity novella, which includes a woman in STEM who inherits a house from a very dear and beloved professor of hers who passes away, but she inherits only half the house. The other half goes to this woman's nephew or grandson, or I don't know what her relation was, but a relative of hers, and he actually lives at that house. And because she is kind of in a bind, she goes to that house and says that she wants to live there for a short amount of time until she kind of gets on her feet. And they have a very much enemies to lovers situation with forced proximity, which I really liked, so I gave this one 4 stars. The second one I didn't love as much, I'm going to be honest. The second one is called Stuck With You. It follows a friend of the first woman's friend group, and she works at this company. She's an engineer, and she's very much an environmental engineer, so she's very much thinking green. And she works at this building where a competitor company also has an office, and that competitor company is definitely not green. So she has very much a kind of a contempt for them, and she meets one of the partners of that competitive company at this coffee shop. They hit it off and they kind of have an amazing day together, but she doesn't know that he is a partner at that firm. They have an amazing time, and then after that amazing day, she finds out something about him that really puts her off. So she blocks his number, doesn't want to take his calls, and kind of writes him off, and she's very hurt by what has happened. And then they get stuck on an elevator together, and they're forced to talk about what has happened. So they kind of have a second chance romance in the book. This book did have a potential for me to really love it, but I kind of don't like the miscommunication trope too much. So I think that that's what kind of held me back from loving it as much as I wanted to. I did give it 3 stars, but it's a quick read. It's fun. I did enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as other Ali Hazelwood books. So I read 2 more holiday themed books. One of them I liked, the other one I loved. I'm going to start with the one that I liked. The book is called The Geek Who Saved Christmas, and it's by Annabeth Albert. This book I picked up because I saw that I had it on audio, and I found that the cover was really cute. It's a male-male romance and a grumpy sunshine romance. So when I read the blurb, I really thought that I was going to love it. I liked it. Unfortunately, I didn't love it. It was really compelling, and I really read it fast because I did want to see how these two would get along, because it's definitely a grumpy sunshine one. We have our main character Paul, who doesn't like Christmas at all, but his brother is going to visit him for the holidays, and he shares a plan that he wants to surprise his girlfriend and propose to her. And he's like, can you arrange like this amazing setting so we have like the best setting possible for a proposal? And this guy is totally clueless when it comes to decorating and making things cozy. So he enlists the help of his neighbor Gideon, who is all in for Christmas, sunshiny type of character, almost kind of an interior decorator type of character. And they really hit it off. So I really did enjoy the dynamic, and it did feel like very much like a holiday themed read, which I really appreciated. But I think that the connection between the two characters was a bit off for me, so I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars, and it's definitely one of the enjoyable holiday themed reads that I read, so I do recommend you to pick it up and see whether you're going to like it as well. The last holiday themed book that I picked up this month is called The Billionaire Scrooge Next Door by Olivia Hayle. This book I absolutely loved. I didn't expect it, because when I hear oftentimes a billionaire in the title, I don't know why, I think that it's not going to be as good. For some reason, I don't know, I have kind of a preconceived notion about it, but I picked it up because it was short, and I found that, again, the cover was really cute. I don't know what it is with holiday themed covers, but I really find them cute. We have our main hero and heroine who have known each other since they were kids, and this one is actually brother's best friend romance, which I typically hate. This is really my least favorite trope in all kinds of tropes that I've come across, but this one is the only one that I can think of in recent times that really worked for me, because the brother is not a big factor in the setup between the hero and heroine. He doesn't come in and act all kind of possessive over his sister, which I love in this book. So we have the hero and heroine, Holly and Adam. They knew each other from children. She always had a crush on him, but they didn't act, or she didn't act on it. And then 10 years later, she goes back to her hometown for the holidays, and it turns out that their small town is one of those towns that is very famous for their Christmas decorations. So everyone comes to this town to look at all the Christmas decorations, and what turns out is that the guy next door, the person who bought the house next door, is Adam. It's his old family home, but they sold it and now he's bought it back, and he has absolutely no interest in decorating, and the whole street is decorated, so everyone is kind of hating him for not decorating. And they enlist Holly's help to go and talk to him and try to convince him to decorate his house. And Adam really has kind of an interest in Holly when he sees her for the first time in so many years, so he decides that it's worth it to let her decorate the house herself if he may take her out on a date. And I really like this book. I gave it 4.5 stars, and I definitely encourage you to pick it up if you're looking for a nice holiday romance. Next up, I picked up The Rivalry by Nikki Sloane, and I have to say that I've only read The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloane before, and I really liked it, so I wanted to read more books by this author, so I picked up this one. The book is a new adult romance between two people who are going to rival schools. We have the girl who is a cheerleader for a football team at an Ohio State University, and then the guy who is I don't know what his position is in the football team, but I think a wide receiver, or I don't know what he is, this football team, so he's kind of a big shot, like an NFL hopeful at his university, and their teams are the biggest rivals, and the two of them fall for each other. But the thing is that the girl and her family, they really have a loathing for this guy's team, and they really take it to the extreme. So that's the thing that bugged me the most. I'm like, okay, I would get her attitude towards it because she's still in her 20s, so she still hasn't matured enough past these types of emotions. But her mom and dad, why would you react like that in such a way? Wouldn't you want your child to be happy more than to focus on a stupid rivalry between two football teams? But anyway, so I didn't give this book 5 stars. I did enjoy the romance within it, and the hero was amazing. But yeah, the rivalry was taken to the extreme in this one, so be aware if you decide to pick this one up. The next book I've wanted to read for so many years now. I've had it on my TBR for a long time, but I really was waiting for the mood to strike to pick it up, and I'm really happy that I did because I really loved it. The book is called Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the World by Benjamin Alire Saenz. And this book is a young adult, I don't know, is it a middle grade? No, it's a young adult, I think, book, which focuses on a friendship between two boys that within years of time that they've been friends helps them find their identity, discover their different types of love for each other and their surroundings as well. And I have to say that it was such an endearing read. It really helped me appreciate how a teenage mind works when it comes to themselves discovering what's in their hearts and what their how would you say, like, their struggle with trying to accept who they are is. So I have to say that I'm really glad that I finally picked this book up. I think I found that Brie from In Love and Words wrote a beautiful review of this book on Goodreads, and when I read it I was like, yes, I connect with this so much. I definitely understand all of the feelings that she had, like the moments where she had butterflies when it came to the romance within the book, the moment where she felt anxiety for how each of them is trying to find a connection with the other without losing themselves. And just there's just so much within this book that you can take out of, even though it's written in a bit of a almost a simple way. It's just written in a beautiful way, so it definitely makes you feel and think a lot, and I definitely recommend this one if you haven't picked it up yet. I'm saving the best book for last because I have to talk about this book. I think I'm going to be short in this video because I'm going to save all of my thoughts for my best of 2022 video. So spoiler alert, this book is going to make it on my bests of the year. I've already predicted that this is going to happen, but still, this book is just simply stunning. It's Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I actually purchased my copy for it. I told you already in a previous video that I pre-ordered it, and it arrived here at my actually at my mother-in-law's home. So it's there at the moment. It's not with me, but I so much love this book. I always love Kennedy Ryan's works, but this one is very special to me because I've mentioned it before, when it comes to second chance romances that involve people who have been together for a long time, that's something that hits home for me, probably because when I think of my own relationship, I've been with my partner for almost 15 years. Right now, you're thinking about how do you keep your relationship alive for a lifetime, right? When you start off, when you're still young, you think, I'm going to be with this person forever. But you don't think about what forever looks like, right? How is it going to look like in 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years? And when you have a book like this one, where you have people who've been married, who've been very much in love, but with traumatic experiences that have happened, they've had to split up. But the connection is still there, the love is still there, but they don't know if they can overcome the trauma that has drifted them apart. That's something that really hits home for me. I absolutely adored this story. I kind of almost held my breath throughout the whole book, and I felt their pain. I felt all of their emotions, the grief, the longing, the pining, the want of wanting the family to be together. The two of them have children, so how the children are impacted by the fact that they needed to split up. All of that was just absolutely heartbreaking, but also heartwarming to see through both of their eyes how much they want for the family dynamic to work in, even if they're not together. So yeah, This was a very, very special book for me. I think for many people as well, and I suspect that it will be on almost everyone's favorites list for this year. Whoever picked it up is going to find out that it's a very special book, and I definitely recommend it. I definitely think it deserves all the hype in the world. So if you haven't picked it up yet, please do. These were all my recent reads of December, so the books that I read from the first portion of December until about the 15th. I'm going to wrap up the month of December probably at the beginning of January once I'm back home, and I do have a couple of books that I've picked up that are very interesting to talk about, so you'll have to stick around for that one to see it. And I'm going to be posting all of my videos that I've pre-recorded this week, so you can stick around to find out which ones I'm going to post this week as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please share with me whether you've read any of the books that I've mentioned here and if you've loved them as much as I did. And I hope to see you very soon in the next one. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you very soon. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Happy reading. Take care, and bye-bye.